Hello everyone, and welcome back to Let's Play Mega Man X1. Joining me today is Skyzo. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing well. Hello, YouTube.
Now, in retrospect, this also would have been a good pick for the fourth stage after Storm Eagle. You see, Launch Octopus has a relatively tough stage, has a lot of spikes and everything like that. And this stage isn't too hard, unless you're doing Buster-only Mandrill, but we'll cover that. For now, we gotta talk about these guys in this dark area with bottomless pits. This is one of the most dangerous sections in the game, so the way I get through it is I keep spamming Storm Tornado at that exact elevation, and that'll get just about all the ones that would knock you into stuff. Then we've got this mini-boss who takes a lot of damage from the homing missile, so I use that instead of the usual Storm Tornado. Now if we had the Arm Buster, we would use a charged Storm Tornado, and that would take care of him with ease, but we don't have that, so we use homing missiles instead. And...
Right.
Yeah? What was that, Skyzo?
Well, I was gonna comment on how his projectiles lag the game.
Yeah, this is an SNES game being pushed to its absolute limits, as you can tell. They actually needed a special chip for the third game.
It's something that it ends with effects, right? It's like a special effects chip.
Yeah. And that section is the same as the first dark section. Spam Storm Tornadoes at that elevation will usually get you through. And then we have either the hardest Maverick boss in the game or the easiest. Usually the easiest, because his weakness weapon is Chill Penguin, which essentially stun locks him. If you decide not to use it, you've got one of the most damaging and unpredictable Mavericks in the game, especially with that dash punch that he did at the very start. The only way to really repel that is with a level 2 or 3 charge shot, which knocks him back as you saw there, and is what you're gonna be relying on in a Buster-only duel, so now! And then when he clings to the ceiling, that's several free shots, and then now. And when I say now, those are all the times he could dash punch. Now! If that thing hits you and you don't have armor, that's 6 ticks of damage, which is a lot. It's as much as any of the 8 Mavericks can possibly do, so he's scarier than he appears, unless you stop him in his tracks with ice, at which point he's a joke.
Huh, interesting. I mean, it's a shame that one of the hardest bosses, and I think that was an interesting fact, he was kind of ruined by his weakness, right?
Yeah.
Like the weapon that he was weak to was locked behind one of the easiest bosses as well, so...
I think it's kind of interesting. It's like they knew that you might want to Buster duel someone instead of using their weakness, so they chose to make him one of the trickiest guys otherwise. Now, speaking of tricky, let's talk about this. It's an infamous jump, the arm upgrade is behind those, but if you break those blocks, like you break the first block right there, it's a really hard time trying to get to that other one. Even I have trouble with it sometimes. And even when you finally get there, your heart rate's going, and you just miss your chance like that, and you have to revisit the stage or beat the boss before trying again. That's what most people do. Now, here is my method that I think works better. So, the collision detection is really wonky. It does not look like I should be able to boost off that, and yet I am. And that's the secret to getting through this safely. What I would recommend doing is I pause buffer. Okay, now I pause buffer until he's under there, and that gets me past the first one. And then I pause buffer underneath the second set of columns till X's head is under and he has a pose like that. And then two things can happen. One, you succeed and he breaks the blocks and he's safe, or you fail and the block is not destroyed and it's still there. That is how I recommend getting through it. Or you could try doing that and then just mashing really fast if you're good enough at pressing the buttons, but I recommend the first way I showed. Either way though, you get your arm upgrade. What did you think of all that, Skyzo?
Right. Well, how are you supposed to get here to begin with without doing the glitch?
Really, I don't think it's a glitch, it's just wonky collision detection.
Yeah, but like, generally when you have an area like this, it's supposed to be like, you get a power up later on and then you come back.
No, that is something that's always intended for you to be able to get it, it's just really tricky. Probably because if you don't get it here, you get it from 0 later on.
You know, I have a hard time believing that because, like, it was pretty much a glitch, right? Like, you abuse the collision detection and stuff.
No, see, what you saw there was a glitch. Another phantom grab that's like frame and pixel perfect. Only saves a few seconds too, and you'll lose way more time screwing it up than what it would actually get you. I just felt like showing that off for fun.
Right, so you can get there normally.
Yes. And by the way, that empty space that I was throwing boomerangs at, that was where the heart tank would normally be, but I phantom grabbed that in the sub-tank.
Oh, right.
Yeah. And I think the way it works is that, like, the blocks react to X's hands as well as his feet, and his hands are still in the blocks even though he's under them. That's my theory.
Right, let's see.
Now this guy is the source of another achievement. Hit him with 3 boomerangs and it cuts off his nose. Doesn't really help a whole lot because all he does is shoot oil, which sticks you to the ground, and he can still do all his other attacks that do damage. Unless, of course, you just stun like his AI like that and just render him a joke. So much of a joke, I'm not even gonna show him Buster only.
Yeah, that's sad. I wonder if he's easy, like if you do him normally, but...
He is. Like, he has another attack where he shoots fire, but it's really slow and doesn't have a lot of range, so he's just an easy starting boss in general.
Right.
Anyways, this stage is probably one of the easiest in the game. So this is also a good choice for your 5th stage if you chose to do Spark Mandrill 4th. And that Mole Borer, there's a sub-tank behind him, but I choose to skip him from now. Because if you have the Armbuster and the Chameleon Sting, you can make yourself invisible and invincible and just run right through him and then run past him. And that's the fastest normal way of getting his sub-tank. There's a Phantom Grab you could do too, but it depends on the RNG and is really tricky, so most top-level speedrunners don't even go for it. It saves like 7 seconds anyway.
Right. I just noticed here you're supposed to be being chased, right?
Yeah, but I just ran past him.
Yeah, he's like so slow, he can't catch up to you.
Also, speaking of slow, those birds just lag the heck out of the game. So here's how we want to approach this section instead. Once you get to that guy, you start jumping, because those birds only spawn if you're on the sled. If you're not on the sled, they don't spawn, so we take advantage of that by jumping as much as we can.
You know, to me, one of the craziest things in speedrunning is like avoiding lag that the game has naturally. It's like kind of in Super Mario 64, you have the water section, right? The submarine and stuff. I feel like that's pretty cool.
Indeed. There's another achievement, but you want to always use the electric spark against him anyway, so it's basically rewarding you for playing it normally. Because here's what he looks like when you don't have his weakness weapon. He just takes 1 damage from all your buster shots, even the max effective one. So basically what you do is you just pound him with as many shots as you can and hope he doesn't block too many of them. There is a rhythm, but it's so tight that I could never get the hang of it, and you don't really need to, because as you can see, his attacks are slow and telegraphed.
Yeah, that would be kind of difficult to die to this, I'd imagine.
Unless you're a noob, of course.
Well, it's also a very slow fight, so I imagine you could, like, be kind of like a war of attrition.
Indeed. Heck, if you wanted to, you could just stand in one spot and just keep bustering him over and over. Wouldn't be as fast, you'd pass up on your chance at dash shots. Those would do 2 damage because of the whole dash shot thing, but yeah, easy but very slow. You want to have the electric spark before fighting him.
Well, it's too bad that most bosses in this are too easy, but they can be cheesed very easily as well.
Well, it's the first game in a new series. They always tend to be the easiest.
Right, I love this outro, by the way.
Anyways, that will be all for today. Be sure to tune in next time as we begin the assault on Sigma himself. Have a nice day, everyone, and God bless you.
Alright, I'll catch you later, YouTube.
Bye!